Jeff Patterson here. Today we're going to look at some jiu-jitsu techniques and strategies that you can use to practice on your own. All you need is a wall or the back of a couch, something where you can put your feet on and get a little bit of resistance from. And we're going to go through a series of bunch of different techniques here to help you with your game, make it more mobile, and just give you some other things to work on while you're waiting to get into class next time. So the first drill we're going to look at is a pretty simple drill using your hips in mobility, getting used to pivot with your using the power of your feet. So when you're going to start up against the wall, we're going to start with a 90-degree angle here with the legs, away from the wall. And when you do this one, you want to try not to push yourself away, or you're going to start kind of running from the wall and your legs are going to get straight and you're not going to be able to use the pressure from the wall. So when you start, you lift the hips and swivel. Notice how when I swivel, if I just swivel the hips and do this, my shoulders start to walk away from the wall. So as I swivel, I bring my shoulder forward a little bit, swivel to the other side, and that way I'm staying in the same place and I'm not running away from the wall. Next exercise is basically the same exercise, but we're going to get a little bit more movement and a little more pivot. I'm going to go out and touch the wall, pushing off of just one leg. So you're going to start in that same position. When we turn to the side, the leg that's swinging is going to go underneath the other leg. So we start here, touch the wall, come back. Touch the wall, back. And again, just like the last one, using that for hip mobility and a little bit of core conditioning as well. Next exercise we're going to look at is kind of like you were doing an arm bar or a leg lock. We're going to work on turning the hips and extending with the hips when you come into it. So we're going to start in a similar position. Feet are up on the wall. Going to cross your hands, kind of like you were holding an arm or a leg between your thighs. Lift your hips and then slowly turn like you're doing a dragging arm bar or leg lock, and then come around to the other side. Lift, turn, down. And another way you can work on getting comfortable with that turning when you're putting an arm bar or leg lock on somebody and just getting used to just turning from having a belly side up to belly side down. Next exercise, when you're doing this one, you want to be careful not to put pressure on your neck. That's why we're going to break it down in a couple different ways to play it. We're just going to do a half circle first. So when you're starting again a similar position, and I'm just going to work on one side of the turn. So as I come through, I bring myself underneath. My head is off of the mat. I'm not putting pressure on my head at all. So as I work that one side, come up and back. After I do about 10 on that side, do the other side. Once that feels comfortable for you, you can put it together. Since we don't have a lot of space here today and get out of view, I'm just going to do one each way, but I'm going to put a full circle left, full circle right. But if you were doing this in a cage or a ring or on the whole length of the wall, you could start at one end and just go all the way down to the other. Or if you're in a ring, start in one corner, work all the way around one way, all the way around the other way. like this when you make it a little more continuous. Next one we're going to look at, and again, this is a way to control the hips, lifting the hips, having control going for that arm bar, or maybe the triangle choke. I'm going to use the wall for a little bit of support. Lay next to the wall. Your right hand, if you're laying with your right side next to the wall, is going to grab onto the mat. Now from here, I'm going to lift the hips up, turn 90 degrees, come back down. Lift up, turn, back down. And you can do that on both sides facing the wall. Next one. So we do the 3-point stand-up a lot. And oftentimes we'll just play it out here on the mat to get comfortable. We're in that open guard position, maybe somebody's standing up, and I use this to base and get up. Well, in a self-defense kind of scenario, or a fight scenario, oftentimes before we get up, we'll use this leg, kick with that leg before we stand up. So you throw the kick, bring it back, stand up. When we're using the wall, you can use that to have something to hit. So I'm standing in here, kick the wall, stand up, kick the wall, stand up. And you play it on both sides. Kick, kick, here. Just another drill to work your conditioning, work that coordination, movement with the leg. This next exercise, and this is a basic technique, working your elbow escape, like from crossbody to pulling guard. And the reason why I like doing this one is because a lot of times when you're passing somebody's crossbody, you get that knee in there. I see with a lot of beginners, they have a hard time. They get this leg stuck and can't pull it through. Well, teaching them to push into this knee to make that space will give them room to wrap that leg around. So with this drill, we're going to do that same thing off of the wall. So you're going to lay next to the wall, bridge to create a little bit of space. As I strip my hips away, I'm going to slide that knee inside. So I strip it in. Now I'm going to push with that knee to move my head away from the wall. And now I've got him in the guard. Go to the other side. Bridge, strip, bring the knee in, push away, into guard. Bridge, strip, bring the knee in, push away, guard. And the last one we're going to look at, one of my favorite ones to play, crazy legs, kind of a fun, active drill, just keep you moving. It's nice for, you play that open guard game and have kind of a loose game, and using the feet, getting them active, keeping that space, giving them a lot of pressures to think about as you're moving around. So on this one, you pick your hips up off the floor, and as I cross step over, my hips never touch, they're always in the air. Turn, walk the other way. And crazy legs. So, a few more drills you guys can work, add into your game, and hopefully it'll help, give you something fun to play. And we appreciate you watching. Hopefully you're keeping up with your practice, and I'll look forward to seeing you back on the mat. Thanks.